Hello and welcome back to Sorare Assist. So we've got some scouting for you today, guys, so make sure you stick around to see who I've scouted this week. If you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're not signed up to Sorare yet, sign up using the link below. You'll get a free limited card. You'll also get to draft your fantasy teams. You can also support this content now, guys, just 99p by clicking that join button below. Your help is really appreciated. Okay then, let's get on to today's scouting. So guys, we're going to be scouting the Japan J League from the game week gone by. So let's have a look at the players that I've scouted, starting with Gakuto Notsuta. So he plays for Sorare Hiroshima. He's got a contract till 2024 with them as well, obviously till the end of the current season. Now if you've been on Sorare for a while and you have been playing the Champion Asia Division, you should know about Notsuta really. He's one of the most consistent performers on Sorare. He's only 28 still as well. He's a midfielder for Sorare Hiroshima, and to be honest, he has started the season a little bit slow, but he has now started to show the scores that he's capable of with a 99 and an 82. As you can see, he did have a few quieter games. He was playing in quite a defensive midfield role in these games here, in the early games where he got these lower scores. But he does seem to be playing in a more central midfield role now, and then he's now getting these scores due to that. In the last game, he actually got 99 points with no goal or assist or clearance off the line, no decisive action at all. As you can see, this was attributed to his fantastic all-round score of 64.1. This is absolutely immense score from Notsuta. If you have a look at the stats a little bit closer for that game, we can see he played 90 minutes, he had 93 touches in this game, 58 accurate passes, 91% pass accuracy as well. 4 key passes in this match as well. Not only that, he also won most of his ground duels and aerial duels, which is going to rack up the points. And also the interceptions and tackles he made in this game is also going to help that score. He also had a shot off target and a shot blocked as well, but like I say, you don't really need a goal or an assist really to get these peak scores, as is proved in the last game with a score of 90. So Notsuta is still a fantastic choice in your Champion Asia teams. As you can see, he's on corners as well for Sorare Hiroshima. Started 10 games, 1 shot per game, although not many are on target. Like I say, does play in sort of a defensive midfield role generally. Created 1 big chance though and 1.9 key passes per game. 41 accurate passes also looking good, but if we look at his defensive stats, these are looking really impressive. 1.8 interceptions, 2.6 tackles, 1.2 possession won, and 0.7 clearances per game. He's also winning 58% of his duels as well, with 5.5 on average per game. So Notsuta is definitely a really good option in midfield in your Champion Asia teams. He's probably one of the best midfielders in fact in the Champion Asia region. Next up, we've got Haruya Fuji, who was probably considered a decent option over the summer for an under 23 option. He's only 22 and he's got under 23 eligibility till 2025. He's got an L40 of 55 as well, which shows his consistency, and he plays for Nagoya Grampus 8. In the last game, he did have a really good game here, and he had a clearance off the line as well, which gave him that decisive score of 60. He also got a good all-round game in this game as well, with 27 all-round score, total of 87.32 in this match. As you can see, this is no fluke. He's got previous good high scores as well, 60s and 70s. That is good for an under 23 player. We can also see from his AA as well that he's got a good all-round game generally, with 20.4 on average. Have a quick look at the stats for that match. He played 90 minutes, he had 2 clearances, 2 block shots, 4 interceptions and 3 tackles. He also won 4 out of 6 ground duels. His pass numbers were not that good really, to be honest, 63%, but he really makes up for it for his tackles and interceptions. He also had 1 key pass in this game as well and 2 shots off target. This season so far for Nagoya Grampus, he's started 10 games. He's created 2 big chances so far. His accurate passes looking a bit better over all the games so far, with 34 accurate passes per game. But as you can see, the defensive stats are looking really good. 1.8 interceptions per game, 2.3 tackles, and 3.5 clearances per game. He's also winning 6 duels per game as well, with 61% of his duels won. Next up, we've got Ryo Hatsushi of Vissel Kobe. Now this is probably one of the first players that I picked out on my Patreon probably about 1 or 2 years ago now. And he's finally started to show what he's capable of. As you can see, he's got fantastic L5 and L15 and he is getting some minutes now at Kobe. He's 25 and he plays as a defender for the Japan J League team. Now we can see from his last game that he got 78 with a goal as well from the left back position. Let's have a look at this goal. It was an absolute corker. I'm sure you'll agree that was some strike by Hatsuse. If we look at his previous scores as well this season, he's doing really well this season actually, getting some really good scores, some really good AA scores as well. As we can see in this game here, in an away win against Kyoto Sanga, he actually had an AA score of 42.34, which is absolutely fantastic. We can also see generally this season as well, he's had some fantastic scores so far early on in the Japanese J League. Previously, he wasn't really in the team, getting some appearances, things like that. If we look at all the graph, we can see that he has had a history of some decent scores as well. And if we filter this to where he actually started the games, we can see that he is pretty consistent really in these scores of 60s, 70s. He's also got 2 100s on this graph as well, with a general good AA score. So, he's looking a probable good pick here, guys, if he can stay in the team. He is on corners as well for Vissel Kobe, so he's a really good set piece taker as well. Started 10 games so far, 1 goal, which is the one that we've just seen, 2 assists as well, averaging 28 accurate passes per game, 1.5 interceptions and 2 tackles is looking good, and also 1.7 clearances. In this game where he scored the goal, he had a decent performance here. Obviously he scored, he got a clearance and a tackle. He also won all of his ground duels as well. 16 out of 23 accurate passes, which isn't too bad, but he is generally better in terms of his passing. But as you can see, Hatsuse is looking a decent option early on in the Japanese J League. So next up we've got Ryotaro Ito of Ibrox Nagata. He's only 25 and he plays as a midfielder for the Japanese outfit. Now in this last game we can see that he did actually score in this match. So let's have a quick look at that goal. And it was another free kick, and a really good free kick there from Ito, who doesn't seem to have that much first team football really under his belt. If we look at all these scores we've got available, as we can see, he's not really had that much first team football, but he does seem to be getting into the team now, and he's got a good cluster of some good scores as well. He's playing in this attacking midfield role as well for Ibrox Nagata, and as you can see here, he actually scored a hat-trick in this game a couple of game weeks back. He did get 76 in this one though, with a goal as well in the last game against Tokyo, and 16.5 average. But we can also see that he's getting a few goals generally this season, and also a couple of assists as well, and some really good scores, some decent AA really for a midfielder. Previously, he was a bit more of a sub for Sorare Reds, but it looks like he's finally got his move away and actually starting to get first team football finally. That he's not really had in his professional footballing career. As you can see here, he's only been playing really. He had a few previous appearances in the J League with Sorare Reds early on in his career. And then he was predominantly playing in the Japan J League 2, where he did get amongst the goals in the J League 2 for Mito Hollyhock. And then of course he played a few games for Oita on loan, only 4 games there though. But now he is getting a few more games for Ibrox Nagata. He played 42 games from last season in the J League 2, scored 9 goals. And he's carrying on that form in the Japanese J League as well. So yeah, he's looking a decent option, guys. Could be a decent punt here. And he is only 25. This season then, he has started 10 of the games. He's appeared in 3 Team of the Weeks in the Japanese J League for SofaScore. 6 goals already, 2.3 shots per game. He's also averaging 42 accurate passes per game and a fantastic 3.1 key passes per game. He's also created 4 big chances and assisted 2 goals so far. Looking a really good pick, this guy. And in this game that I highlighted, he played 90 minutes. 49 accurate passes in this game, which is looking really, really good. 1 key pass as well, and 2 shots on target in this game. Of course, one was the goal that we saw, the free kick. So I think Ito is looking a decent option in midfield. Bit of an outside punt, although his price has started to now creep up. And the final player I've gone for this week is one of my favourites really generally on Sorare, and that is Akito Fukumori. I've had his rare card, for about 2 years now, and he's really served me well. Although last season he was on a little bit of a dip in form. I don't know what happened. I think he was maybe injured or out of fitness, something like that. But he was a little bit in and out of the team last season. He is a defender for Consadole Sapporo. He's only 30 still, and he's got a long contract with them as well, as you can see, till January 2025. Looking really cheap at the moment for me, for a guy who's going to give you some really good AA scores and capable of some peak scores as well. And that was shown here from his graph. We can see these peak scores already this season. Like I said, previously last season, he wasn't really on the best of form, in and out of the team a little bit. But there's a couple of things to note here. If we look at the full graph, we can see that he's getting some fantastic scores back here when he was playing consistently. And if I filter this to the games where he's just started, makes this graph look even better with some fantastic peak scores here and some really good all-round score as well of 18.3 on average through all these 93 games that he started. Now, another thing to note as well, guys, is that he's actually started playing in central midfield for Consadole Sapporo this season. So last season he was predominantly used as a centre-back for Consadole Sapporo, as you can see, historically, but he's now playing in the central midfield role. So he just seems to take in a few of the set pieces, and he's probably going to get on a few assists and potentially even score some goals as well. But as you can see, he's getting some fantastic all-round scores in these games as well. And if he just play back in the central defensive role, don't think that's going to affect his scores too badly, because as you can see, he's already started there in this game here, away to Ibrox Nagata. So Fukumori is a fantastic choice, guys, I think, in your Champion Asia teams. He is playing as a midfielder, like I say, so he should hopefully be getting amongst assists and goals. He does generally have a good number of key passes per game. Let's have a look at that then. So he does take corners as well, as you can see. He's started 10 games. He's got 1 assist so far to his name and 2.2 key passes per game, and he's already created 4 big chances. He's averaging 33 accurate passes per game as well, and chipping in defensively with 1.6 interceptions, 1.3 tackles and 1.3 clearances. He's also winning 62% of his duels as well. If we look at this game just gone by, this was a 4-1 win for Sapporo as well. Really good victory for them. He played 88 minutes. He had 5 key passes in this game, guys. So it's probably a little bit unlucky to not get an assist here. 37 accurate passes as well. Probably could be improved on in this game, only 69% accuracy. But generally, he is pretty good at those passes. And he's also won a number of his duels in this game as well and chipped in with 2 interceptions and 2 tackles. So I think Fukumori is still a fantastic choice, guys, in your Japan J-League lineups, and it's certainly one that I'll be keeping hold of for the rest of this season and the seasons to come. So guys, let's have a just quick look at the Japan J-League table as it stands at the moment at the time of recording. So as Vissel Kobe sit top of the table at the moment on 22 points, and Hiroshima are close behind in second place, just 2 points behind. We've also got Nagoya Grampus at the top of the table as well in third, and Yokohama Mariners are also near the top of the table as well. Near the bottom, we've got Yokohama at the bottom at the moment. No wins for them so far. 3 draws, 7 losses. Conceded 27 goals as well, so it's looking pretty bad for them. Gamba Osaka are near the bottom as well, and Kashiwa. So overall, there's some decent picks there, guys, from today's scouting video. I hope you did like this video. If you did, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget you can support this content now, guys, on my YouTube channel by clicking that join button below. It's just 99p, guys, to support this content. You can also support me on Patreon as well. That is just £1 a month on the Patreon. Okay, guys, thanks for your support as always, and I'll see you again on the next video.